Scattered throughout New England stand mysterious stone structures of an unknown origin. Long neglected by scientists and historians, the theories regarding their creation now range from the mundane to the extraordinary.
I really think that they were purposely done the way they were done so that people don't see them.
Supposedly like they're ceremonial.
The structure of some of the more preserved chambers show this building technique called corbelling. That technique was used by the Celts around 3000 BC.
You can make a nice story out of any of them, but because there's no archaeological remains, pottery or anything, these were built by early settlers.
Colonials, early settlers, Vikings, ancient Druids, or somebody else entirely? Can it be determined who really built them?
I think I'm interested mainly because nobody really knows. I always like a good mystery.
I like the story, but I can't find any proof to it.
They may truly be the last remnants of an ancient civilization.
Join us as we investigate the surprising history of New England's stone structures.
There is a mystery. People think they have to go to Egypt and Giza to see magical places, or Newgrange in Ireland. People in America don't realize that some of the greatest mysteries are sitting right in their backyards.
Hidden in plain sight throughout the United States stand guideposts to an unknown history. Mysterious sites and structures exist in every region of the country, offering clues to a national timeline that may differ from the one taught in classrooms. We will peel back the layers of time to discover an America where history, science, and mythology converge. We are searching for Lost America. It's the middle of winter in Putnam County, New York, but that's not stopping this team of local explorers from hiking deep into the woods to visit some of the area's most famous chambers.
We do know that the chambers are mentioned in some colonial writings, but you have to understand the mental state of people at that time. A farmer, for example, would find one of these structures on his property and write the local reverend or go and see the local reverend and say, I saw one of these things. It's on my property. What should I do? And the answer would be, stay away from them. It's a point where the devil enters our world. I'm Phil Imbrogno. I'm a scientist, although some people may disagree with that.
Phil Imbrogno is well known in the area for his paranormal research. He is also largely responsible for a recent revival in interest in the stone chambers. But for that reason, the chambers are looked down upon by the scientific community.
My involvement in the stone chambers goes back to 1983 after investigating a series of UFO sightings. The stone chambers have a lot of paranormal activity attached to them, so it's a stigmata to the scientific world. When you're dealing with things that are in the supernatural, they kind of shy away from it.
Phil continues New England's long fascination with, and sometimes unhealthy relationship towards, paranormal forces. From the New Jersey Devil to the Hudson Valley's UFO sightings, the local mythology covers the entire paranormal spectrum.
There are people who actually came over here that still held on to the old pagan ways. They came here because of freedom of religion. They found these chambers, they were delighted. That gave them more credibility that their gods were very real because they were here in the New World. These people were eventually caught and arrested and put to death and burned and hung as witches.
But Phil claims there is more to his work on the stone chambers than the paranormal and the work of overactive imaginations.
The definition of science is making known what is unknown. In order to do that, you have to have an open mind and go where the evidence leads.
The bedrock of Phil's work, and most of the theories that revolve around the stone chambers, is that there is a startling similarity between the stone chambers in New England and confirmed ancient structures in Ireland, England, and France.
Stone chambers are a physical phenomenon. There are structures, they're there. You can see them, you can study them, you can take your time studying them. How the rock was cut, how it was placed. In 1992, an Irish archaeologist and a professor of Celtic studies from Edinburgh, Scotland, came here and looked at the chambers. It was their opinion that these chambers were pre-Celtic.
Phil's work has slowly infiltrated the mainstream. In 1996, New York's Visitors Bureau changed its listing on the stone chambers to reflect one of Phil's theories, that the stone chambers could have been built by ancient Druids.
A very famous archaeologist said to me, those places are archaeologically sterile. If you go in there, you find colonial artifacts, indicating that they're probably from colonial times. 100 years from now, if you dig in one of these chambers, you're going to find artifacts from the 20th century. Are people going to think that people from the 20th century built them? If they find a can of Budweiser, come on, give me a break. There is a mystery out there that needs to be solved. There are so many things out there, some of them just laying in somebody's backyard. Carved standing stones with inscriptions on it, stone chambers that haven't been discovered. There is a lost America out there, but it's being slowly covered and hidden by the development and the population growth of the Northeast.
When we return, we'll take a tour of Putnam Valley's most unique chambers.
You can see what I mean by the corbelling. It's always well lit inside the chambers.
Examine their specific features.
On the first day of winter, the sun shines directly down the passage of the chamber and illuminates the back wall. There's a slab that was carved from the bedrock, large enough to place a body on it.
We'll take an in-depth look at who could have been in New England before Columbus.
Their faces were as fire, and their eyes were of the sky.
And finally, we'll visit New England's largest stone chamber, the King's Chamber,
Each time, I'm just more amazed by looking at it.
where Phil's team and an independent team of scientists will test the various theories.
There's still a lot of work that needs to be done in the stone chambers. When I started the research, nobody even cared about these things.
And come to some shocking conclusions.
We dug in a number of the chambers. If we're interpreting the evidence correctly, these chambers are incredibly old. Something, as a scientist, I have a hard time accepting. But the data is there. The evidence is there.
Searching for Lost America.